Hey guys, Junger here. I want to talk to you today about forms on your website. Now, we often get asked the question, should I use a WordPress plugin to build and manage my forms, or should I use third-party software? And my message to our clients is normally, it depends. Now, if you're talking about WordPress form plugins, we really like Gravity Forms. The reason we like that plugin is because it's incredibly easy to use, but it's also super extensible. So if you just want to build a simple contact form, you can easily do that. If you've got a more complicated form with maybe some conditional logic or multi-pages or some other requirements, Gravity Forms makes that easy to do as well. We also really like the fact that it ties into third-party systems like your payment processor, your email marketing software, and even your CRM really well. So you can kind of have Gravity Forms as the central hub of all your forms and information, and it can tie into your other systems. The real reason that you would use something like that over third-party software is that your website really is kind of the central hub of all that data, and only the people who need to access the form data are people who have access to the back end of your website. So if that's your approach, then using a WordPress plugin really makes a lot of sense. You might use a third-party form software if you have a different setup. Let's say you've got a lot of people who need to access that information. Maybe it's your sales staff, maybe it's your marketing staff, and they don't necessarily need to be in the back end of your website. Then you might use third-party form software to do something like that. Now, maybe that's something like your Salesforce CRM setup. Salesforce can obviously output form data, and maybe Salesforce is really the place where everybody who needs that data lives and needs to access it. So that's why you use that. If you've got other requirements, let's say you collect PHI, personal health information, you might use something like JotForm, which is HIPAA compliant, and that way you know that all the data that you're collecting falls within the requirements and you don't have to worry about any of those issues. Maybe you want something like form assembly because you just need just a place for other people to be able to access the information who don't necessarily need to go into the website to be able to see that data. So there's really kind of this balance that you have to figure out about who needs to access the data, what's the best way to management. Obviously pricing, plays a key role in everything, but those are the kind of the things that you should look at when you're debating between whether using a WordPress plugin for your forms or investing in third-party form software. If you got any other questions, leave a comment. Let me know what I should talk about next. See you. Hey, we do these videos every week. If you like what you're hearing, be sure to subscribe on YouTube and make sure you follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram at DGTLNK. Let us know in the comments what it would be helpful for me to explain next.